Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is May 29th. The Astros have thrown a combined no-hitter. The Cubs have won a game. So much to talk about. Let's do it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? Do we have an episode for you here today to wrap up May? Just one more series left of the month that is happening this weekend. But then on Monday, the next episode, it is June 1st. We'll be in the third calendar month of the year officially. And the season is really starting to form together here. So there's a lot of stuff, as I mentioned, to go over in today's episode. So with that being said, let's jump into our series recap. Leading us off, the Braves and the Red Sox. Jarren Duran, Ceddanne Rafaela hit back-to-back homers in the first. IKF hits his first homer of this season, but later on, Matt Olson, Michael Harris the second, both go deep for the Braves, who outlast the Red Sox 7-6. The Red Sox score 6 in the fourth as Jarren Duran homers again in Game 2, part of an 8-0 Boston win. And in the last game, Ronald Acuna Jr. hits a grand slam. Michael Harris' second homers as well as Ozzie Albies. 10-2 Braves, the final. They take 2 of 3 from the Red Sox. Marlins and the Blue Jays. The Marlins fight enough to pick off 5 earned runs against Trey Savage to pick up 8 in the game. 8-2 Marlins, the final. Ernie homers on back-to-back days. Pinago goes deep, and Jesus Sanchez hits a grand slam against his former team. 8-1 Blue Jays, and in that rubber match, Kazuma Okamoto hits the go-ahead homer in the sixth. That's the difference in a 2-1 Blue Jays win. Rays and Oilers now, an awesome back-and-forth game here between Baltimore and Tampa. Aranda and Victor Mesa Jr. homer for the Rays. The Oilers, though, keep matching their runs in extras until Colton Cowser does it again. Back-to-back games with walk-off home runs for Cowser. How about that? 9-7 Baltimore in 13 innings. They went on to win Game 2 6-1 thanks to Samuel Bassale hitting a 3-run home run. And then in the last game, Gunnar hits 2 homers, first one being in the first where the Baltimore scored 5 runs. Blaze Alexander has quite the day, picking up 6 RBIs and getting his first homer of the season, and with Baltimore 11-2 as the O's sweep the Rays. Yankees and Royals, Salvi and Bobby Witt homer. One ties the game, one takes the lead. However, the Royals blow it in the ninth. Anthony Volpe comes through with a 2 RBI single. The Yankees win it 4-3. They went on to hit plenty of homers in Game 2. Ahmed Rosario, a 2-homer game. Bellinger goes deep. Volpe's first of the year. Trent Grisham, Jazz Chisholm, all going deep. 15-1 New York. And in the last game, Ryan McMahon, his 5th of the season. 7-0 Yankees. They sweep the Royals. Nationals and Guardians. It's plenty of homers for the Nats as James Wood goes deep. Jacob Young, Luis Garcia Jr., CJ Abrams, and Curtis Mead with a 2-homer game for 6 Nats runs. 10-2 Nationals, they take the opener. James Wood homers again in Game 2, his 15th of the season. 6-3 Nationals. And in the last game, the Guardians score 3 in the 5th, take the lead. Guardians win it 3-2 to avoid the sweep. Twins and White Sox played for Munetaka Murakami and Drew Romo, both going deep in a 3-1 White Sox win. Murakami hits a game-tying 2-run homer. This one goes to extras in Game 2, but Brooks Lee gets the bases-clearing 3-run double in the 11th. The Twins hold the White Sox. They win it 5-3 in 11. In Game 3, Chase Mydroth hits a grand slam, and how about Munetaka Murakami hitting a home run in 3 straight games, up to 20 on the season. 15-2 White Sox in the last game. The White Sox score 4 in the third. Randall Grichuk, a 3 RBI day. White Sox win it 6-2, and they take 3 of the 4 from the Twins. Angels and Tigers now. The Angels led with a Joe Adele home run. The Tigers scored 5 unanswered with the help of a Wenzel Perez homer. They take the lead, but then later on, it's Vaughn Grissom hitting the go-ahead grand slam in the 8th. Jose Siri hits his first of the year for insurance. 10-6 Angels in the opener. In Game 2, Torkelson hits his 8th homer of the season to help the Tigers in a 4-0 win. And after going down 1, the Angels score 3 in the 5th. proceed to score 7 unanswered as the Angels take the series 7-1, beating the Tigers 2 of 3. Mariners and A's in a 3-game series. The Mariners start this series 2.5 games back of the A's for first in the AL West. They then proceeded to score 6 in the third. Luke Raley and Dominic Canzone both homering in that inning. J.P. Crawford and Randy Arozarena homered later. Mariners take the opener 9-2. They then proceed to score 3 runs in the second as they hold the A's to just 4 hits in a 4-1 win. And in that last game, Rob Refsnyder hits a 3-run home run. Julio hits a 3-run home run. The Mariners sweep the A's and are now in sole possession of first place in the AL West, taking it from the Athletics. 9-1 the final in that last game. Battle in Texas here, Astros and Rangers in a 4-game set. Yordan Alvarez and Christian Walker both go deep, but how about Tatsuya Amai, Steven Okert, and Alember Santa, who made his MLB debut as the 3 of them combined for a no-hitter. What a moment. The Astros win it 9-0. After getting no hit, Texas proceeds to score 8 runs in the first inning. In the next game, Jock Peterson capping it off with a 3-run home run. Yordan has a 2-homer game, and Pena hits his first of the year, but the Texas Rangers hold on to a 10-7 win. Jock Peterson has a 2-homer game and has 3 homers in the last 2 games, but Yordan Alvarez has another 2-homer game on back-to-back games, and in this series so far, he's had 5 home runs hit. 4-3 Astros, they win that one, and in the last game, Jeremy Pena homers again. Isaac Paredes goes deep, both of them in the first inning. Astros win it 5-1 and take 3 of 4 from Texas. Reds and the Mets now, JJ Bleday, Tyler Stevenson both going deep in a 7-2 win. Ellie De La Cruz, Eugenio Suarez, and Tyler Stevenson both getting 2 RBIs, not both, all 3 of them getting 2 RBIs in a 7-2 Reds win again. And in the last game, Juan Soto, Eric Wegeman, both going deep for the Mets in a 4-2 victory. Reds take 2 of 3 from New York. The Cubs and Pirates played 4 now as the Cubs, they're on an 8-game skid and desperately need a win. But they only score 1 run on a Michael Busch home run. Henry Davis gives the Pirates the lead with his 4th homer of the season. A go-ahead shot puts the Pirates up to 2-1 the final. In the next game, the Pirates scored 5 in the first, capped off by an Esmeralyn Valdez homer. Spencer Horwitz homers later on. The Cubs lose 10 straight games. They lose that one 12-1. Brandon Lau, Connor Griffin, they both go deep for the Pirates, but Ian Happ hits a 3-run go-ahead home run, followed by a Michael Conforto 2-run shot. The Cubs score 6 in the 7th and finally win a game. They drop the 10-game skid and they win it 10-4. And in the last game, Ian Happ, another clutch home run, a 2-run shot, gives the Cubs some insurance runs late. 7-2 Cubs the final. They go on to split the series with the Pirates. More importantly, they end the losing streak. Cardinals and Brewers now. Yelich, a 2-run homer, his 4th of the year, part of a 5-1 Brewers win. Jake Bowers goes deep in the next game, as does Garrett Mitchell, whose homer is a part of a 5-run inning as the Brewers hold on to a 6-0 win. And in the last game, 7 no-hit innings gets broken up, and the Brewers turn it on, scoring 2 in the 8th to take the lead. 2-1 the final. The Brewers sweep the Cardinals. Rockies and Dodgers. Dodgers score 4 in the 7th to go from down 2 to up 2 as they beat the Rockies 5-3. Then Mookie Betts has a 2-homer game, joined by Kike Hernandez, his 1st of the season. Andy Pages and Will Smith all going deep in a 15-6 Dodgers win. And it's a solo shot party in Game 3. Shohei, Freeman, and Pages all going deep. 4-1 Dodgers. They sweep the Rockies. D-backs and Giants now. Gabriel Moreno, his 3rd of the season, part of a 6-2 win for Arizona. Adrian Del Castillo and Ketel Marte both going deep in Game 2, part of a 7-5 D-backs win. And in the last game, Perdomo hits a go-ahead sac fly in the 7th. That's the difference in a 3-2 victory as the Diamondbacks sweep the Giants. Phillies and Padres is last on the docket. Kyle Schwarber hits his 21st home run of the season, while his teammate Brandon Marsh hits his 5th 3-0 Phillies in the opener there. Then we have some solo shots here from Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, and Trey Turner, all going deep in a 4-3 Phillies win. And in the last game, Trey Turner homers again, back-to-back nights, his 7th of the year in a 3-0 Phillies win as they sweep the Padres, and that's your series recap. All right, now a total of 7 sweeps. Wow. Game of the week here goes to Baltimore. We're not in Tampa. We're in Baltimore between the Rays and the O's. This is game 1 of the series, and the scoring starts in the top of the 6th when Jonathan Aranda hits his 9th home run of the season. A solo shot puts the Rays up 1. Blaze Alexander, he gets the RBI single in the bottom of the 7th to tie the game up. Then Taylor Ward with the RBI single makes it 2-1 Baltimore. In the top of the 8th, Richie Palacios, the RBI single, it's 2-2, and we go to extras. Neither team score in the 10th. Then in the 11th, Victor Mesa Jr., his first home run of this season. It's a 2-run shot. The Rays are up, but don't worry. Pete Alonso picks up an RBI single to put them within 1. Then Jeremiah Jackson picks up the RBI single. Baltimore answers the Rays. It's 4-4. We go to the 12th. Jonathan Aranda, a sac fly. The Rays are once again in the lead. Bottom 12th, the O's get the fielder's choice collision at home plate. There's a challenge. By the end of it all, a run scores. Baltimore ties it back up at 5-5. Then in the 13th, Cedric Mullins picks up an RBI single. Nick Fortes, the sac fly, as the Rays pick up another 2 runs. Larry Tavares picks up an RBI double in the bottom half. Baltimore is within 1. Jackson Holliday gets the sac fly. It's 7-7. And then Colton Cowser, after hitting a walk-off home run on Sunday, hits a walk-off home run on Monday. A 2-run shot. Baltimore ends up with 4 in the 13th inning. They come back in 3 straight innings. The 11th, the 12th, and then the 13th. They go on to win it 9-7. What a game. That's your game of the week here. And another great game that happened that week was on the same day, on the Monday, as the Astros combined for a no-hitter. Are you kidding me? What a sensational performance there from the Astros. You had Tatsuya Amai, you had Steven Okert, and you had Alimber Santa, who was making his major league debut, by the way. Really cool moment for him. He picked up the last 2 innings to finish it off. It's been quite a while since we had a no-hitter of any caliber here. The last one going back all the way to September of 2024. That's right, last year we didn't have a single no-hitter. The last one being the Cubs in a combined no-hitter that we saw Shota Imanaga, Nate Pearson, and Porter Hodge shove in that game. Another game that started with a Japanese pitcher on the mound. Shota Imanaga for the Cubs, now Tatsuya Amai from the Astros. The last time we saw a single no-hitter was Blake Snell. That was when he was with San Francisco still back in August of 2024. So it had been quite a while since we had gotten a no-hitter. We had plenty of close no-hitters, guys who've gotten into the 9th inning, in the 8th inning, etc. But to actually finish it off, it's been quite a long time. And it's got to be good feeling for the Astros. They've kind of been sluggish, to start of this year. At one point, they were last in the division. They were kind of in the mix there with the Rockies and the Angels. But they are starting to find their form a little bit here, taking 3 of 4 from Texas. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're now 3rd in the AL West. They've passed Texas thanks to taking that 3 of 4 from them. They're 26-32 and only 2.5 back of the Mariners. So the Astros here have kind of woken up a little bit here. I think if you ask any Astros fan, player, whoever follows Houston, they would say the start to the season with Tatsuya Amai hasn't been as well as they thought it was going to go. But I think this is a great moment for Amai. It gets him a lot of confidence in the big leagues, to go out there, shove for 6 scoreless, turn the ball over, and you've got guys back there who can lock it up. I mean, this is just going to show you the Astros, similar like the Mariners kind of here, Like Seattle's in first right now. They just swept the A's, but they're 28 and 29. They're still below 500. The entire AL West is still below 500, while the entire NL Central is still above 500. But it's still early in the season where any one of these teams can take over the division, being the Mariners, A's, Astros, or Rangers. All four of them have good teams who I feel like haven't been playing up to the potential. We're waiting to see which one of those four teams can really kick it and turn it on here. Maybe the Angels, but it's not going to be the Angels. But it's good stuff for the Astros. Good for them to throw the no-hitter. Good for Amai to get some confidence in here. Just a great day for baseball in that one there. As we'll move on now, we'll talk quickly about some of the NL pitchers who have dominated May. I saw a video on Instagram, and it made me really wanted to kind of go through and see some of these stats here. But when you think of NL pitchers of the month and the NL Cy Young race, I mean, I've talked about how the rookie races for both the AL and the NL are going to be so dominant. The NL Cy Young race might just be dominant. And when you take a look at the month of May, a lot of pitchers were really on it. Mike Soroka from the Diamondbacks went 3-1, a 1.78 ERA and 24 Ks. That is a brilliant month, but it doesn't end there. Braxton Ashcraft, 3-0, a 1.8 ERA, 31 Ks, only had 5 walks. He still has one more start to make this weekend, so, he could obviously blow it up and, kind of fall out of this, or he could be even better with another good start here. Eduardo Rodriguez from the Diamondbacks, 3-1, a 1.6 ERA. Andrew Abbott from the Reds, 3-1 record, a 1.29 ERA, an opponent batting average of .192. 192 batting average there. Chris Sale from the Braves has a 1.33 ERA, 34 strikeouts in 27 innings. He has an opponent's batting average of 175. Are you kidding me? Max Meyer, 4-0, 1.76 ERA with 35 strikeouts. He still has one more start to go this weekend, an opponent's batting average of .168. Unbelievable. Chase Burns, 4-0, a 1.19 ERA, a .79 whip, 33 strikeouts, and an opponent's batting average of .155. And those guys aren't even the main two, because it comes down to Jacob Misiorowski and Christopher Sanchez. Now, Jacob Misiorowski in 31 innings has 49 strikeouts. He has a 0.29 ERA. He's only given up one run. That happened on his last start of the month here. He has an opponent's batting average of .105 and only gave up 11 hits all month, a .54 whip. Absolutely insane and unreal. But I think Christopher Sanchez barely one-ups him. He has 45 strikeouts. He only walked 3 batters, so that's a K per walk ratio of 15. He has a .72 whip, and by the way, his ERA, 0. Didn't give up a single run for the entire month of May, joining, I believe, just Oral Hershiser in not giving up a single run in an entire calendar month. Not only did he do all of that for himself, he has scoreless streak right now is up to 44.2 innings without giving up a single run. That's a new Phillies franchise record, a record that hasn't been touched since 1911. It took 115 years for a new Phillies pitcher to have a scoreless streak that gets up to 44.2. That is what Christopher Sanchez is at. He and Misiorowski are kind of 1-2 tailing it right now in the NL Cy Young race. And this list does not even include guys like Paul Skeens, like Shohei Ohtani, like, Mason Miller, who's, again, with how dominant he's been, he might get some Cy Young votes. But all these guys have had insane months of May. They've been dominating. Special shout out for Misiorowski and Sanchez. But again, like any of these guys, like Soroka, Ashcraft, Abbott, Sale, like these numbers that we talked about, these are numbers that can be like, oh yeah, obviously it makes sense why you're the pitcher of the month for May for the NL. Like you got 9 guys here who could all be the NL pitchers of the month here. But what Misiorowski and Sanchez have done are out of this world, and one of those two is going to get robbed here. Just saying that here. Let's get into the next bit here, which is the Chicago Cubs, and they are ending their 10-game losing streak. Thank God. I think the baseball gods were like, oh, we didn't realize we gave you two 10-game winning streaks. Let's give you a 10-game losing streak just to reverse that a little bit here. When you go back to April 28th here, so basically a full month of the year on the calendar here from April 28th to now, I guess, May 28th, even though today is the 29th, but they haven't played yet today. The Cubs have won 10 straight. They then lost 4. They then won 2, lost 10, and then have won 2. They finished off that, 4-game stay with the Pirates by taking 2. They have played 500 baseball for a month, basically, from April 28th to May 28th. If this 10-game losing streak did not happen, they would have still been first. They're third in the Central right now. Of course, they're still above 500. But yeah, it goes to show you that the season is long. We were, a month ago on April 28th, we're talking about, oh my God, the Cubs, or not even April 28th, the start of the month of May here. We're talking about them in like May, 9th-ish. And we're talking about all the Cubs on another 10-game winning streak here before their 50th game. They're the best team in baseball. How incredible are they? They're going to go on. They might challenge the Dodgers for potential, for which team represents the NL in the World Series. And then they lose 10 straight, right? Because that's baseball. The season is long. There's a lot that can happen. A lot can change here. We talk about the AL West being, no teams above 500. We talk about the NL Central, all these teams being above 500. And that's impressive. That's crazy. But again, how quickly can the Reds or Pirates who are in Cardinals go on like a 10-game losing streak? How easily could the Mariners or Astros or A's go on a 10-game winning streak? The season is long. Things are bound to change here. The Cubs, I'm sure, are just grateful that they can put that 10-game skid behind them, and they can start focus on maybe starting up another 10-game winning streak. They're already at 2 now, so that's pretty cool for them here. Moving on to some other baseball news. As I said, this is a big episode, lots to talk about. The CBA Dance kind of begins here. If you're new and you haven't been following baseball in the slightest, the CBA agreement between the MLB and the MLB Players Association ends after this season, which means a lockout is pending and looks like it might head that way here. We had the first couple of public showcases of the proposals. First one being from the MLB's Player Association, which included some of the main things being a competitive integrity tax for teams that don't spend $150 million on players, increasing the minimum salary for a player's contract from $780K to $1.5 million, as well as increasing the CBT threshold from $244 million to $300 million. So that is kind of what the Players Association has kind of put as their headliners there in the first in their first proposal here, while MLB had then countered with a proposal of their own, including a hard salary cap, a floor that would be set at 171.2, which includes player benefits, and the ceiling at $245.3 million. That is what MLB has proposed here. When you take a look at that in terms of the teams and their finances, you have 6 teams that would be above that $245.3 million ceiling, being the Mets, Dodgers, Yankees, Blue Jays, Phillies. So those teams would need to shed payroll. Then you have plenty of teams that are below that $171.2 million threshold, including the Baltimore Orioles, the Mariners, the Royals, the Reds, the Brewers, the Rockies, the Twins, the Pirates, the Rays, Cardinals, A's, Nationals, White Sox, Guardians, and Marlins. All of those teams are under the threshold here, which means with that proposed salary from MLB, you would have over, 2/3 of the league needing to make drastic changes to their team here. The only teams, and the only 9 teams that would be safe in this, if this, salary cap was introduced, and if it was these numbers, the Astros, the Cubs, the Padres, the Tigers, Giants, and Red Sox, Diamondbacks, Rangers, and Angels. Those are the only 9 teams that find themselves between the 171.2 and the $245.3 million cap there. The other 21 teams would have to either spend some money, trade for some guys who have big contracts, and then either if you're over the 6 teams that are over would need to find a way to spend some money. So you had 15 teams, half of the league needing to spend more money here. It's an interesting proposal. There's a lot of things that a lot of distance still between the MLB Players Association and MLB. Hopefully they can continue to work and kind of find an agreement before the lockout or, before the season would start up normally. I don't want to miss baseball. I think all baseball fans are like that, but there's nothing that we can do except sit, watch, listen to what people are saying, and hopefully the two parties can come to an agreement here. But that is the start of the CBA Dance, and the updates we'll have them for you here as well. As we move on to some interesting news, or well, not interesting news, but interesting player performance between the Brewers and Cardinals. Abner Uribe, a bit of a head-scratching decision here. We're still not really sure. In one of the games, game 2, I believe, on the Tuesday, Abner Uribe in a 6-0 game in the 8th inning. The Cardinals have 2 runners on. He strikes out Alec Burleson and then proceeds to, point to the sky. That's kind of normal. But then he looks at the Cardinals dugout and proceeds to give him about 3 hip thrusts in their direction before walking off the field. Now, it was funny because it was a close pitch. Alec Burleson did use the ABS system. It ended up being a called strikeout, but it would have been very funny if he did all of that just for the pitch to be called a ball anyways. But as he was walking off, Pat Murphy immediately kind of grabbed him and started talking to him about it. And he was not happy, as you can imagine. It was kind of a weird moment. Now, obviously, Uribe is a very emotional guy. He's high intensity. He pitches with emotion. But that was just unacceptable. Brewers manager Pat Murphy kind of put it to best. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Don't know if there's anything greater that there was something there. Like, that was kind of the quote that he said. It's just unacceptable. I don't know what got over him. I mean, he's been an emotional guy, but that kind of thing, that's just not how we do things. And I was embarrassed by it. Why are we doing it in a 6-0 game? What are we doing there? There must be something deeper that I don't know. Now, Uribe did talk about it a little bit. Apologized to the Brewers, to his teammates, manager, bosses, all the stuff there, but did not apologize to the Cardinals. He said it's unacceptable for himself to go out there and react in a way like that. However, he explained that in the opening game on the Monday, manager Oliver Marmoli from the Cardinals basically was, according to Uribe here, pointing at some of their guys like Yelich and Contreras. In his quote, he said, "I don't think it's professional for their manager to be making signs towards our dugout, saying things like he's going to be hitting guys. There's an event that occurred during the practice today as well, and I don't think that's right. I have my teammates back always." When the Cardinals were asked about it, they denied ever all of that stuff. Marmoli's quote was saying it looked like their team and Murph was handling it on their side. That's their player. We will handle ours, but it seemed like they were taking care of it. So not sure if anything comes to it. They kind of went back to their series at the beginning of the month. And nothing was there either. So, I mean, it was just something that Uribe saw, did not like on the Monday. Apparently something happened in the batting practice as well on the Tuesday, but then obviously, getting into the game, getting the strikeout, gave the Cardinals a little couple of thrusts here, but not much else came from it. Hopefully it's handled and it's not a bigger situation than it needs to be. But it was just very weird for a Major League player to thrust like that in a general direction of any other team. Now, of course, like the Giants and their whole celebration, that's fun. That's just having fun. That's between them. But like to do it with other teams and players, a little bit more weird. Anyways, lots bits of news here to go over here. We got to give some love to some veteran guys here. The Rays are signing Craig Kimbrell to a major league deal. Of course, Kimbrell was DFA'd earlier this season. He still has a little bit in his tank. I keep reading his numbers. He's, of course, one of those guys who should go down into the Hall of Fame. An absolutely amazing closing pitcher in his heyday with the Braves, with the Red Sox, some good years with the Cubs and White Sox, but definitely in the back half here, he's definitely found struggling to give himself a proper home here, but the Rays are hoping that they'll be able to tap into something here. And then another veteran move as the Rangers have DFA'd Andrew McCutchen, of course, the MVP, five-time All-Star. He said he still wanted to play. He said he still had it in himself. His season last year, 135 games with the Pirates, he hit 13 home runs, a 239 batting average, and a 700 OPS. For a guy who is basically going to be 40 real soon, that's a pretty impressive number still good enough to continue playing. But so far this season with Texas, he's found himself into 37 games. He's gone 14 for 73, only 2 doubles and 1 homer with 5 RBIs. He's batting 192 with a 537 OPS. And again, I mean, Texas is a team where, you want things to go right. And when you can click, I mean, the AL West right now is in a position where, you click for a week in your first place. Texas obviously has that ambition. They've been pretty bad since winning the World Series, and their team hasn't changed all that drastically. So you wonder how a team like that goes from winning the World Series to missing playoffs in, years and just struggling to kind of find a way out of the bottom of a division here where, there isn't that much competition right now. So for the Rangers, they're trying to figure out what, is going wrong here. And having a player like McCutchen, who is obviously not producing, he's not a, fan guy there. He likes Texas. He's played with there before. But of course, he's a long tenured Pirate, and that's kind of where his love and loyalty kind of rested here. So the Rangers had no kind of issue saying goodbye to McCutchen, but it definitely is, hurts. You want to see him kind of end on his own terms, but his career is coming close to an end here. Maybe a team will take a shot at Andrew McCutchen, see if he can kind of, right his season around, but it's definitely been a struggle streak. I don't think anyone's going to blame Texas, who, trying to compete to try to get better, and by doing so, DFAing McCutchen, but still, he's a baseball legend. His MVP season with the Pirates, still one of my favorites. But yeah, hopefully he'll land on his feet here. As we'll get into now the rest of the stuff here. Injury updates from the week. Dylan Cease lands on the 15-day IL with a strained hamstring. Just another injury for the Blue Jays, who are battered up and down the lineup from pitchers to offensive players. It's just getting worse and worse. Nolan Schanuel from the Angels, 10-day IL with ankle inflammation. Rockies, Jose Quintana, 15-day IL with a sprained elbow. White Sox lose Noah Schultz on the 15-day IL with a patellar tendonitis. Mets are losing Tyrone Taylor on the 10-day IL with a strained hip flexor. A's lose Aaron Savali, 15-day IL with shoulder tendonitis. Dodgers losing Kike Hernandez on the 10-day IL with a strained oblique. And the Tigers will be without their closer, Kenley Jansen, the 15-day IL with a pelvic inflammation. Tiger season gets worse and worse here. We'll take a look now at some outstanding performances from the week here. Of course, nothing was more outstanding than the no-hitter. Tatsuya Amai, 6 innings, no hits, no runs, 4 walks, 2 K. Steven Okert, an inning, no hits, no runs, a walk, and 1 K. And then Alember Santa, in his major league debut, finishes the no-hitter, 2 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, 1 K, goes 6 up, 6 down with a strikeout. His first major league strikeout, good for him. Nick Lodolo, 6 innings, 6 hits, a run, no walks, 7 Ks. Ben Brown, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 7 Ks. Jacob Mizorowski, 7 innings, 2 hits, a run, a walk, 12 strikeouts. Jesus Luzardo, 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks. Shane Baz, 7 innings, 7 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 9 Ks. Joe Ryan, 7 2/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 9 strikeouts. Sean Burke, 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Connelly early, 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 7 Ks. Garrett Cole, vintage Garrett Cole in his second start back, 6 2/3, 4 hits, no runs, no walks with 10 strikeouts. Gavin Williams, 7 innings, 3 hits, a run, 2 walks, and 4 Ks. Dustin May, 7 innings, 2 hits, a run, no walks, and 9 Ks. Christopher Sanchez, 7 innings, 6 hits, no runs, no walks, 9 strikeouts. Shohei Ohtani's last 6 innings, no hits, a run, 4 walks, and 7 Ks. That's pretty funny, huh? No hits, but a run because of all the walks. Anyways, here, let's get on to the stat leaderboard. Not a lot has changed. The numbers have. Average, Otto Lopez still in front, still at 342. Did not move a muscle from last week. His hits have gone up to 75, though he still leads in that. Kyle Schwarber still leading in home runs up to 21, but Yordan Alvarez and Murakami both sit at 20 behind him. RBIs, it was a 4-way tie last week. It is now just Andy Pages who is in the lead here with 50 RBIs. James Wood still leading in runs with 50 runs. Nick Kurtz is once again tied with Mike Trout. Both of them have 52 walks on the season. Nazman Nunez still leading in stolen bases with 22. OPS leader is no longer Ben Rice. It is back to being Yordan Alvarez, who has a 1.073. Of course, 5 home runs this series against Texas. 2 multi-homer games on back-to-back days. Really impressive there. The win leader is still Aaron Ashby with 9, as he just finds a way to keep getting the Brewers wins. ERA is now Christopher Sanchez, who's down to 1.47. He's been unreal this month, as I said, not giving up a single run. But so has Jacob Mizorowski, who still leads in strikeouts. He's the first to triple digits with exactly 100 strikeouts on this season. And the saves still is Cade Smith. He picked up 3 this week. He goes from 16 to 19. He is 1 away from his 20th save on the season. Cleveland loving him. Who needs Mr. Class A when you have Cade Smith? I'm sure he's happy about the Class A incident. But anyways, that is your stat leaderboard, and that brings us to our upcoming series for the weekend here, the last series of the month of May. The Angels are going to the Trop to take on the Rays, Blue Jays, and the Oilers. The Bird Battle, I believe this is a 4-game set. You've got the Red Sox in Cleveland to take on the Guardians. Tigers at White Sox. This is impressive, man. The White Sox are playing great baseball. That could be a fun series for Chicago. In Chicago, of course. Kansas City is in Texas to take on the Rangers. The Diamondbacks are in Seattle to take on the Mariners. Diamondbacks are hot right now. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They are challenging both the Padres and the Dodgers right now. Meanwhile, the Mariners need to start pulling away from the A's and the Astros in the AL West there. Speaking of the A's, the Yankees are in to play the A's in Sacramento there. You've got the Brewers at the Astros, Padres at Nationals, Marlins at Mets, Braves at Reds. That's a fun one there. Cubs at Cardinals. Now, not on a 10-game streak for the Cubs. Good for them. The Twins will take on the Pirates. The Giants will take on the Rockies. And for the first time since the NLDS, the Phillies are in LA to take on the Dodgers. Let's make sure Oren Kirkering has a nice time in LA, because the last time he did not. Moving on here to the last part of the episode, the playoff predictor. If the season ended today, who is in the playoffs? And we have some changes to the 12 teams. 3 teams down, 3 teams up into positions. One of those being the Toronto Blue Jays. Defending AL champs would find themselves as the 6th seed, taking on the Mariners, who are another new team here. Not a new team, but a team that is back in the playoff picture. They are the 3 seed, of course, leading the AL West there. The White Sox at the 5 seed, Yankees at the 4 seed. The Blue Jays once again beat the Mariners, while the Yankees beat the White Sox. So your ALDS matchups are the Blue Jays at the Guardians, who are the 2 seed, and the Yankees at the Rays, who are the 1 seed. Yankees upset the Rays. Guardians beat the Blue Jays. So your ALCS matchup, Yankees and Guardians 2024 rematch, and Yankees win it again. We go into the NL, where the Cubs are the 6th seed, the Brewers are the 3 seed, Padres, the 5 seed, taking on the Diamondbacks, the 4 seed, who, by the way, is a new team into the playoffs. That's right. And they're already up to 2nd in the NL West and the 4 seed overall. Good stuff from Arizona. As I mentioned, 9-1 in their last 10. They've been hot. They beat the Padres while the Brewers beat the Cubs. So the NLDS matchup are the Brewers at the Dodgers, being the 2 seed, and the D-backs at the Braves, who are the 1 seed. That's a really fun series. Dodgers, of course, beat the Brewers, and the Diamondbacks upset the 1-seeded Braves. They head to the NLCS matchup to take on the Dodgers, and like they did in, I think, 2023, they upset the Dodgers. They head to the World Series. It's a 2001 World Series rematch, the Diamondbacks and the Yankees. And like 2001, the Diamondbacks take care of New York. They are your 2026 World Series champions. If the season ended today, they went on a run to beat the Padres, Braves, Dodgers, and Yankees. What a Cinderella story for the Diamondbacks. Man, they almost had it in 2023. They should have had it in 2023 to beat Texas, but I digress. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our episode here today. Not only wrapping this one up, but also wraps up the calendar month of May. Next episode will be in June. Of course, we'll be talking about the last series in May. But yeah, it was a full episode. I mean, the no-hitter, the NL dominant pitchers, the Cubs losing streak, the CBA stuff, Abner. Like, it was a full episode. So if you got to this far in the episode, thank you so much. I appreciate you very, very much. I hope you had a great month of May. I hope you got out to go and see some baseball, go to your favorite team, watch in some beautiful stadiums. But yeah, thank you, everybody, so much. And I will see you on Monday.